There you have it, everybody. The sea of anti-gun radicals. Look at that. Look at this. They want your gun rights. Look at this. They hate the pen. They hate the Second Amendment. They hate the Constitution. They despise your gun rights. And they want to leave you defenseless. They want to leave you totally defenseless in the face of armed criminals. That's why they want red flags. That's why they want universal background checks. They want to totally strip you of your Second Amendment freedoms. Unbelievable. No, a well-regulated. No guns. That's the answer. No guns. They don't want you to be able to protect your families. They don't want you to be able to protect your kids. They want to disarm everybody. But you can't disarm criminals. You can't disarm criminals, folks. You can't disarm criminals.
No gun safety.
You can't disarm criminals, folks. Criminals will be the only people who have guns.
Common sense
if these
is what
people,
it is. It's common sense.
Common sense, gun control. Share this video with your friends. Share it with your family. Let everybody know what's happening here right now. Look at it. Look at them. Hundreds and hundreds. Gun control. It's all they want. Unbelievable. Gun control, gun control. Time to act. The time is, it is time to act. Time to stand up for the Second Amendment. It's time for stand your ground law.
Time to act. Time to act. Time to act.
Join us. Stand with us. Help us stop this madness. They want to disarm your families. They want to totally strip you of your right to keep and bear arms. They hate the Constitution. They hate America. If they disarm us, only criminals have firearms. That's how this works. That's how this works. Look at them. Hundreds and hundreds. Flooding the Capitol. All they want, radical gun control. They want to destroy the Second Amendment. They want to annihilate our gun rights. And when the Second Amendment is stripped away, the only people who have guns are criminals. Criminals. Share this video. Share this video. Share this video. Share with your family. Share with your friends. Let them know what's happening here. Radical gun control. That's what they want. And they trot out their kids. They trot out their kids as if that's a good reason to destroy gun rights. I've got kids. I got to protect my kids. What happens when your gun control takes away my guns so I can't protect my kids? What about my kids? Repeal the Second Amendment. Say it again. Hey, say it again. Say it again. She said, repeal. You see that? She's shouting, repeal the Second Amendment. And then she was told that she had to stop. They told her she had to stop. If the Second Amendment is destroyed, only criminals will have guns. What about my kids? What about your kids?
Sir, would you like a cookie?
Would I like a cookie? No, I'm talking. Thank you, though. I'll come back for one. Oh, I can look too. That's okay. Just a moment ago, she was shouting, repeal the Second Amendment. And then one of her handlers told her, don't say that. We can't say repeal the Second Amendment. That's what's happening here. Radical gun control. What about my kids? What about my kids? If you take away my guns, who's going to protect my kids? Folks, look what's happening here. They will destroy the Second Amendment if they can get away with it. Stand with us. Stand with Minnesota gun rights and fight back.
Save our kids. Save our kids. Save our kids.
If they destroy the Second Amendment, it's over. Who's going to protect my kids? What about my children? What about my kids? I'm Ben Gore with Minnesota Gun Rights.
What's your last name?
DOOR, D-O-R-R, with Minnesota gun rights. They want to repeal the Second Amendment. They just said it. They were just shouting, repeal the Second Amendment. What about my kids?
What about your first and last name?
My first name is Ben. My last name is Doorr, D-O-R-R. And I'm with Minnesota Gun Rights. It's time to stand and fight, folks. Stand up for the Second Amendment. Stand up for our guns. Stand up for our families.
We support the Second Amendment.
Yes, yeah, they support the Second Amendment, they say. Yet they want to register all the firearms.
Save our kids!
What about my kids?
Save our kids! Save our kids!
She was just shouting she wanted to repeal the Second Amendment. She wants to repeal it altogether. Yes, save our kids. What about my kids? I want to carry a gun so I can protect my kids. What about my boys? Who's going to protect my boys? Nobody. A disarmed citizenry is not a free nation. A disarmed citizenry is not a free nation. Share this video. Save our kids. Let law-abiding citizens carry firearms. Let law-abiding citizens carry firearms. No red flags. No universal background checks. It's gun control. Folks, share this video. Share this video. Share it on your wall. These people will destroy the Second Amendment if they can get away with it. Unbelievable. We need to fight tooth and nail to stop this. No gun control. No deals. No gun control. Not one more. We totally agree. Not one more gun control bill. None. No gun control. Who's going to protect my kids? Nobody's going to protect my kids. You know who's going to protect my kids? Me. I've got to protect my kids. But if they get their way, they will totally repeal the Second Amendment. It's starting right now, folks. 12 noon. This fight is on. It's on right now. Stand and fight with Minnesota Gun Rights. Join us now. Join today. Hey, you're awful crowdy. They're getting awful crowdy.
Not one more.
Excuse me.
Not one more.
Not one more.
I'm standing right here.
Can I slide through?
I'm standing right here.
Can you please
Not one more.
Boy, they're awful violent for peaceful folks. No gun control, no deals. None, period.
Not one more.
We're good.
Not one more. Not one more.
Trying to block the whole path.
One more. Not one more.
No gun control. What's that?
One more.
We'll go back out that way.
One more.
See that, folks? They will destroy the Second Amendment. They will destroy the Second Amendment if they can.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
Excuse me, pardon me. These people hate your freedom. They hate freedom. Who's going to protect my kids? Who will protect my children? Who's going to protect my children? If you take away my guns, who's going to protect my kids? If you take away my guns, who's going to protect my kids?
Like the kids in Parkland, who protected those kids?
So when we start this session, know that everyone in there works on your behalf. Day and night. Make sure that not a single life is ever lost again in Minnesota to violence, this epidemic that we have in our state.
Epidemic, he calls it.
So I thank you all for the work you are doing. Let's go Let's build a state where everyone is safe. Thank you, Mom.
And there go the representatives, egging them on. Stand and fight. We gotta stop it. We gotta stop it. We can't let this stuff pass in Minnesota. We cannot let Minnesota turn into California or New York or Massachusetts. Not common sense. Share this video. Who's gonna protect my kids? Common sense? There's nothing common sense. What is gonna protect my boys? Well, what you want to pass will take away my guns. Red flags doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. You know, I just want to spreading lies.
Who are you guys?
You don't support we're Minnesota gun rights.
Minnesota gun rights.
That's right.
We support the Second
You don't
Amendment.
support the Second Amendment. Red flags, gun seizure legislation, and universal gun registration is not a support of the Second Amendment.
Gun registration.
You don't know how universal background checks works then.
Oh, really?
All it'll do is register firearms.
That's a falsehood. You're making that
It's 100% true. It's 100% true.
And we'll continue to. We're not about taking people.
They support the Second Amendment, he says. Yet all they want is radical gun control. Here they're hauling out every Tom, Dick, and Harry anti-gun legislator
Who watches
to tout their support. Thousands and thousands and thousands of Minnesota gun owners.
Is that right? How do I find it?
Minnesota gun rights. Look it up on Facebook.
Oh, the Facebook? Or YouTube?
Oh, I'll put it on YouTube. Minnesota gun rights on YouTube. See that, folks?
Bye-bye.
Let's go over to the Senate side. Let's go to the Senate chamber. You know, they all have talking points. They all know what to say and when to say it. But one woman, who I'm not entirely sure was a woman, started shouting, "Repeal the Second Amendment," she shouted, "Repeal the Second Amendment." And right away, the lady who was in charge taps her on the shoulder and says, "Don't say that. We can't say that. We can't say that." You know why? Because saying repeal the Second Amendment sounds an awful lot like take all the guns. So instead, they don't say repeal the Second Amendment. Instead, they say not one more and save our kids. And they shout every other, misnomer that you can think of. It's all gun control. It's all designed to take away your firearms. And who's going to protect my kids? Who's going to protect your kids if the Second Amendment is destroyed? Folks, that's the House chamber over there where we were just at. And here they have just as many, because they're all told, stand here, stand there. They're all stationed here. Here's the Senate. Here's the Senate chamber. They got more of them here to destroy the Second Amendment. They got hundreds over at the House. They got hundreds over here at the Senate. They want to take away your Second Amendment rights. They want to take away your firearms. They want red flags, gun seizure legislation. They want universal gun registration. And like they were shouting on the other side, they said repeal the Second Amendment. So they could sit here and say, no gun control, we were just shouting it. It's not live, we lost signal. We gotta move over. Ran out of signal, you guys got lucky. All right, guys, stay with me. We got bad reception here. We got bad reception. If you can still hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know. Lost signal there for a little bit. Can you hear me? Cutting in and out. All right. I'm back, folks. I'm back. I guess we have no reception over on the Senate side. Boy, that one lady really slipped up when she started shouting, repeal the Second Amendment. Because now they're all standing over on the other side saying, we don't believe that. We don't want gun control. We want common sense. Guys, stand with Minnesota gun rights. Join us. If you are already a member, please make an extra contribution so we can run the programs necessary to pour heat down on these people, on these anti-gun legislators. We're all standing here right now clamoring for gun control. Check it out. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Still leaving out. Guys, join Minnesota Gun Rights. Make a contribution today. Help us fund the programs we need to pour the pressure on these anti-gun politicians.
Save our kids! Save our
Man,
kids!
these guys don't stop.
Save our kids! Save our kids!
They don't care about your kids. They don't care about your children.
Save our kids!
And what they don't realize is none of that gun control will stop any of these shooters.
Save our kids!
It's not gun control, it's common sense.
It's radical gun control is what it is. Radical gun control.
Radicals taking money
Total
from
destroy
Russia.
the second.
Taking money from Russia is what's radical.
He says that we're taking money from Russia.
That's in the news. $30 million or more from Russian oligarchs to the NRA.
We're not the NRA. The NRA supports your red flags. He says we took $30 million from Russia.
NRA
Unbelievable.
took $30 million.
Unbelievable.
Are you not the NRA?
We are Minnesota Gun Rights. Minnesota Gun Rights.
Okay.
I know you get told a lot of stuff that's not true.
Well, I didn't know you
That's
were.
pretty
You're just
common.
A big boorish character who comes in here with.
Oh no! They called me a big boorish character.
Yeah,
How could
amazing.
they?
How could that be?
Unbelievable. Gun control. You like my pen?
I hate it.
Oh, it's a. This is
Is that
a.
an AR-15?
No, this it should be, but this is a Barrett 50 caliber. I love this pen. It's my favorite pen.
That's really disgusting.
I'll wear my AR-15. I use my AR-15 to protect my two boys. My 3-year-old and my 1-year-old. Yes, they do.
No, what do they
No,
want?
but yes, they do.
What do they want?
I should be able to use whatever I can get my hands on to protect my children.
And what if somebody gets a hold of that?
Well, the shooter who went into Parkland, Florida, of course. Don't bad people do bad things? Isn't that the reason you want to take our guns away? Protect them from who, they say. Unbelievable. Red flags, gun seizure legislation, and universal gun registration. That's what they want.
The Second Amendment is really only for white men.
Oh, now
That's a fact.
now the Second Amendment is only for white men.
Through all of its existence.
I guess, am I a racist too?
I don't know. I
Am I
don't know
racist?
you well enough yet. I
Oh.
do know you're obnoxious.
Obnoxious.
Yeah, absolutely.
One guy.
Coming here with an
one guy.
AR-15 on your lapel.
That's a Barrett 50 caliber.
Yeah,
What-
you're free to do that,
what-
but it's still
one-
obnoxious.
One guy versus 300 anti-gunners, and somehow I'm the obnoxious one.
Oh no, I take it back. You're a very courageous.
Oh, there's
character.
my state rep right there. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Can I slip through? Oh. Yeah, they say we don't want to take away your guns, and in the same breath they say repeal the Second Amendment. Unbelievable.
That's just my position. And I'm
That's
never
just-
gonna give you that.
That's just his position.
Ridiculous.
You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed for coming here to steal our Second Amendment rights and disarm me.
Are you nuts? Nobody says that.
My grandmother wouldn't be caught dead at an anti-gun rally because she knows that the Second Amendment protects us. Excuse me, pardon me. Pardon me there. Here they are. Repeal the Second Amendment, they say. Red flags, gun seizure legislation, universal gun registration. Take the guns away entirely, they say. Save our kids. Save my kids. Save my kids. My kids don't matter.
Really all about your own self-promotion?
What's
Is
that?
this really all about your own self-promotion?
We self-promote the Second Amendment.
No, I mean about you, sir. This is just about you
Second
building
Amendment.
your brand.
We're all about the Second Amendment.
Your own.
Why are you all wearing red?
Where are we all wearing red?
Yeah.
So we all look good. in
Self-promotion and promote your own brand. So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about your
Hey
personal
now.
brand.
Wow, what are you doing for this? Oh, they're kicking my bipod. My goodness. My goodness. Look at these people.
We'll have a chance to really
Join
brand,
us.
right?
Join us, become a member of Minnesota Gun Rights today.
Support us. We support the Second Amendment.
Sure you do.
You know what? We
There's-
believe in gun rights too.
No, you don't. No, you
I'm a gun
don't.
owner myself.
Yeah.
And these are
What?
guys you're
Why are you
spreading.
trying to hand your guns over? Why would you do such a thing?
This is common sense.
This is common sense?
Yes.
It's not common sense to give my guns away.
They're not asking for your guns.
They were just shouting to repeal the Second Amendment, close a loophole. She just apologized. Went, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. You were just, come on. You're backpedaling all over the place. It's gun control.
Never wavered.
It's universal gun registration. You don't know what your own bills do. You don't
either.
One lady over there, one gal just shouted and said, you took 30 million from Russia. I didn't take a dime from Russia. I don't even know. I go to school with a Russian. But
we support the Second Amendment.
and then she said, oh, we were told you were the NRA. Minnesota Gun Rights. You guys get told a lot of stuff that's not true. Like what your bills will do. They don't do what they think you will. We're going to oppose every single one of them, no matter what's in them.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
100% sense. We don't believe in taking guns from law-abiding gun owners.
Neither do we. We're both guys.
Well, that's exactly what your bills will do.
Do you have any idea what a red flag gun seizure bill does? The red flag? Because what it, just in case you don't know, what it lets somebody, your ex-wife, your ex-girlfriend, your neighbor, your teacher, depends on the bills drafted, can call in and say, you're a threat. You've never been arrested. You've never been indicted.
So it's a
you've
bad
never,
thing
and you
to
never, and you
recognize
never, and you never been convicted.
Well,
never
if we
been
recognize
convicted.
more threats
And they're
in
going to
the
come and
state.
take them. So you're. That's what a red. It's law in 8
Not about
states.
taking it.
It's law in 8 states right now. So I just said your ex-spouse, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend, a neighbor in some states, a teacher in some states, a
Your
nurse
health
in some
professional.
states, and they can make the claim. And have you never been convicted, never been indicted, they will come in 8 states right now and take the guns away. So
It's a temporary measure.
you have no idea what you're.
It's a temporary measure.
These people have no idea how their own bills work.
Temporary seizure.
It's an ex parte hearing. I'm not in the room. You know what ex parte means?
Yes.
It means it's in your absence.
Wait, show me the language in the bill that
Good
says
Google it. It's
no,
all
show me.
no, you find it.
This state.
It's all over.
You can't claim
It's all
something
over.
without pointing to the
These are
language.
ex parte hearings.
All over. We're
You're
talking
not
about
even in the
Minnesota.
room.
In Minnesota, that's not.
You don't even know
It's not true.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Say that. Show me the language.
Well, we all knew this, folks. Totally uneducated. These people have no idea how red flags works. No clue. No clue. Be honest. You're saying the bill does something it doesn't do. You're the one who needs to be honest. But we don't expect the radical anti-gun left to be honest about what they want
You want to throw out
or about what the bills do.
and you think people believe lies
I
based
didn't
on that,
insult
that's
you.
fine.
I didn't insult
Radical
you.
left.
It is radical.
It is radical. It's
crazy.
radical.
If we want to live in a country like this, we move to Europe.
Yeah.
We have a Second Amendment. We have personal freedom. Wayne LaPierre is a joke. Wayne LaPierre is a joke.
Okay,
He's
get that quote.
I'll say it right here. Because Wayne LaPierre is publicly supporting red flag gun seizures, we think he's a joke who is choked when we need him the most. We'll proudly say that. Red flag gun seizures is the end of due process, and it's the end. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. And you are totally guilty until you come back in court 6 months later or a year later and prove yourself innocent. Whether you care about guns or not, if you care about due process, if you care about the idea of innocent until proven guilty, then you should absolutely oppose red flag gun seizures. Because, ma'am, you're never convicted. You're never convicted. Do you even know what I'm talking about?
It's not a criminal, again, it's a civil procedure.
I know. You're never convicted of anything, and we lose our guns? You are totally mistaken. Whether it's by willful ignorance or malicious ignorance, you're totally off base. I'm not insulting you. I'm simply saying you don't know what you're talking about. It's absurd. No due process, no arrest, no conviction, and no indictment. That's preposterous. And you're never convicted in court. See, folks, I haven't had a chance to give my name. Aaron Dorr, Ben's brother with Minnesota Gun Rights. Okay, thank you very much. I work in Iowa ordinarily on behalf of Iowa gun owners. Here today because Ben had a big old throwdown, and I wanted to be here. But these people have no idea what they're even talking about. They don't know what the bills would do. They don't know the ramifications of them. All they know is that the DFL wants to crush Second Amendment freedom, and they're down for that. So universal background checks, which is a statewide gun registry, which would make you a felon for giving a firearm to your loved ones, your son, your grandson. If you transfer a shotgun for opening day, because we all have that friend who forgets to bring his firearm for opener, that would be a felony offense unless you have government permission. Red flag gun seizures, you would lose your firearms never having been indicted or convicted in court of anything. Assault weapons bans, you would be a felon if you owned one after they pass these types of bills. So they can sit here all they want and say this is a common sense approach. You make no mistake, you will be a felon if they have their way. It is the end of the rainbow for gun owners if this stuff passes. And Minnesota Gun Rights, of course, Ben, who you guys hear from all the time, Ben's going to lead that charge, but it's going to be a bloody, bloody battle. This is the opening day of session, and they got 300 people here, 500 people here, I don't know, 800 people here right now. It's going to be a war, guys. If you're not getting MGR emails, sign up. If you're not a member of MGR, go to joinmgr.com and get signed up right now. Guys, this is going to be a huge battle. Ben, you got your hands full up here.
Yep. Actually, the joinmgr.com website is not functional yet. The link is on top of this video, though. The link is on top of the video. You can become a member. You can make a contribution if you are already a member, but we need you standing with us. 2018 was an absolute nightmare of gun control, but we got it stopped. In 2019, we have a radical, anti-gun, leftist governor who is younger and hungrier to pass gun control than Mark Dayton ever was. And now we have a massive, massive anti-gun majority in the Minnesota House. We've got to shut this down. It's going to take pressure. It's going to take phone calls. It's going to take emails. We're going to have to run radio ads, TV ads, direct mail, sponsored videos on Facebook and other social media. We're going to have to pull out all the stops if we're going to get this stopped here. We need you to stand with us. We cannot do it alone. Look, I am completely outnumbered here. Completely outnumbered. I need you to stand with us. Unbelievable.
You know, what's amazing is that the same bill they're doing here in Minnesota, universal background checks, they're filing it today in Washington, D.C., folks. And it's being rolled out in part by Gabby Giffords, who's going to show up today, Ben, for the intro. And what's amazing is that the guy who shot Gabby Giffords in 2011 passed the background check. So all of this idea that we're going to somehow stop violent crime by passing a background check is a joke. The shooter at the Orlando nightclub went through a background check. The Aurora, Colorado movie theater went through a background check. Both the Fort Hood shooters passed a background check. The Washington Navy Yard shooter passed a background check. I mean, the Charleston, South Carolina church shooter passed a background check. I mean, all these people went through these checks and it didn't do a dang thing. But you know what? That's not an accident. These gun grabbers, that's not lost on them. The point is they don't care about that. This is not about stopping violence. It's about establishing a statewide, or in the case of today's bill in D.C., a nationwide registry of gun owners. And they're open about that. Nancy Pelosi was asked, this is last year, will these bills lead to more and more infringements? And she said, I certainly hope so. So these people, whether these activists behind us know it or not, because a lot of these people are absolute sheep and have no idea what they're talking about, whether they know it or not, the DFL in Minnesota, by God, knows that the agenda here is a gun registry. That's it. They know it's not going to stop crime. They don't care about that. Their goal is to register everybody's firearms and have a statewide database. And everybody knows what happens or what can happen once a database is established. The first step towards eventual confiscation, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's 10 years from now, whether it's 30 years from now, is to have that list. And that is their goal here in Minnesota.
When they outlawed so-called assault weapons in Connecticut and none of the law-abiding gun owners turned in their AR-15s to the government, the state police is being called on to use the background checks data to go door to door and confiscate firearms that they knew that these law-abiding citizens had. So when they sit there and say, this is not a registry, all of those records get deleted. It's absolute nonsense and lies. All of those records are kept, and they will use them eventually to confiscate firearms. Because what happens if they pass universal background checks today, and then 2 years from now, 4 years from now, 10 years from now, they pass a ban on all semi-automatic weapons?
Which is their goal. They want to do that.
Absolutely.
They're very open about it.
You guys remember House File 3022 from last session? It would have totally annihilated our gun rights. All semi-automatic firearms banned, and that includes everything. Everything was banned under that bill. You guys helped us shut it down. What happens when they pass universal background checks, and then they pass a ban on semi-automatic firearms, and they have got decades and decades of NICS data because you had to go through all those background checks, and now they can go door to door and confiscate your firearms. This is what they want to do here. This is their ultimate goal, is a total and complete destruction of the Second Amendment. No guns for anybody except criminals. Because criminals won't register their guns, but you can go to prison if you don't. That's what they are going to try to pass here. That's what they're working on. Join Minnesota Gun Rights. We're the only organization getting in these people's faces here today and letting them know that we are not going to roll over and let them ram this stuff down our throats. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Boy,
yeah, we got some
look at
lovely
them.
people here.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, jeez.
You know, guys, and that's why your emails that you're getting emails from Ben right now from Minnesota Gun Rights, or on social media right now from MGR with pre-written advocacy campaigns, pre-written emails that go right to your lawmakers in St. Paul, because we understand that it's not easy to get gun owners to come from the Iron Range and Worthington and everywhere in between every time these fools have a rally. But your emails, that is what actually counts. Yes. Your lawmakers, they discount this kind of a crowd because most of them aren't in their specific districts. But your emails sent to your lawmakers via the MGR advocacy campaign, that Gun Rights Action Center, those go right to your lawmakers based on your address. It's a one-click process. Type in your address and hit send. It takes 5 seconds to take action. If you want to help us counter this, once you've joined Minnesota Gun Rights, you have got to be involved in firing off your emails and making your phone calls, because these people, that is the lawmakers, they operate based on what is the greatest threat to their reelection. Yep. That's all they care about, is their reelection. Maybe we can't deal with a Ron Latz in St. Louis Park, but by God, those people down and up in the Iron Range, they're going to have to decide. Are they going to join this mob who wants to disarm Minnesotans, or are they going to sit there and back down and support the Second Amendment? I don't care why they vote no on gun control. I don't care if they're true believers or if they're just simply scared of the gun rights organization. But either way, your activism, your emails, your social media messages, your phone calls, that's going to make the difference. You know, last session, when I was up here with you, we stopped red flags and UBCs in the Senate by 2 votes.
Yep.
Two votes. And we all know what Leader Gazelka's talking about already, yes. Open to making a deal. We don't know what that means, but why? Why would, right now, would anybody be open to making a deal with this radical, insane gun control lobby? So your action is going to make the difference. It's going to be the way we shut this down, if we can, in Minnesota in 2019.
Guys, if you're waiting, what are you waiting for? If you've not joined up, what are you waiting for? It's time now. We have to stand now. We've been preparing for this. And now it's go time, guys. Session kicked off right now. Minnesota Gun Rights and the Second Amendment. Psychos. Seriously, guys.
Are you going to then publish run all of the faces that you recorded through facial identification on the internet?
Facial identification? No, we don't. We can't do facial identification through the internet. No. Because then you could. Adam Tucker says, ask moms demand action to join MGR. True enough. If they support the Second Amendment, certainly they would join Minnesota Gun Rights. So here's an open invitation. You got an open invitation. The members and supporters of Minnesota Gun Rights want you to know that if you support the Second Amendment, like you say you do, you're more than welcome to join Minnesota Gun Rights as a dues-paying member. So here's an open invitation. If you'd like to join Minnesota Gun Rights because you support the Second Amendment, The link is right on top of our Facebook page. There you go, guys. I made the offer. Ooh. Oh, they went quiet. All right, guys. So we got. How you doing? Good to see you. All right, guys. Ben Dorr with Minnesota Gun Rights. Session kickoff for those of you who are just joining. They're here demanding gun control, demanding the repeal of the Second Amendment. What about my kids?
Save our kids!
What about my kids?
Save our kids! Save our kids!
What about my kids? You know, my grandpa wouldn't be caught dead here opposing the Second Amendment. He knows better than that. My grandparents know better than that. Shameful. Save our Constitution and our children.
So how do you feel about the Russia giving the NRA all that money? Are you in favor of that?
Fakest crap in the world.
Oh yeah, is that just fake news? It's not true that the NRA gave.
Like I said,
Russia gave the NRA money.
We're not the NRA, and we don't care. The NRA supports gun control. We don't.
Do you support that or not? Do you think that's
We don't
okay?
support gun control. We don't support gun control. Not of any kind. You know, like I said, you guys wouldn't be caught dead here opposing the Second Amendment. My grandparents, my parents, my mom is a mother of 11 children. 11 children she had. She wouldn't be, she knows better than to think that confiscating everybody's firearms is going to keep her kids safe. No, she taught us all to respect the Second Amendment. We all carry firearms to protect our families, our kids. That's what Americans do. They protect their families with firearms. We saw what happened in Parkland, Florida. The police didn't save the kids in the school. But you can bet your bottom dollar if any member of Minnesota Gun Rights had been there, they'd have been in that school in 2 seconds trying to save those kids. Because that's how this works. Because law-abiding gun owners are the best citizens in America. They're the best citizens in Minnesota by far. And these people are a goof troop looking to get your Second Amendment rights totally destroyed and taken away. Guys, I'm asking you, join Minnesota Gun Rights today, become a member, make a contribution, share this video. Anthony Bishop goes, what is that thing? I'm not sure. Really, I'm not sure. Guys, they're trotting out anti-gun lawmakers who are shaking everybody's hands, and they are promising to do everything they can possibly do to pass gun control this session. Everybody's shouting, everybody's cheering. Everybody's excited about this, but guys, we got to shut it down. We got to shut it down. If we don't shut it down here, we'll not get it back. If they pass universal gun registration, it's extremely difficult to repeal radical anti-gun legislation. We have got to stop this. We got to stop it. Join Minnesota Gun Rights. What time is it, Aaron?
It is 5 to noon.
5 minutes. In 5 minutes. 5 minutes, session kicks off. 5 minutes. And then Melissa Hortman has the gavel. Then anti-gunners stock all these committees with anti-gun legislators. We've got to shut it down. We don't have a choice. We got to fight back. Join, become a member of Minnesota Gun Rights. Help us stop red flags, gun seizure legislation. Look at, these people don't play nice. Everybody's always telling you, be nice. You know, kiss political backside. Kiss backside. We don't do that at Minnesota Gun Rights. We expose the lies of the left. Look at them. They're all sitting here. There's 18 different accounts of what red flags gun seizures would do. None of them know what it does. None of them know the truth. And they do not care. They just do not care. They're being told NRA is running the world and that taking away guns is a good thing. It's bad. It's bad. We oppose it 100%.
He's a good guy.
Hey, look at this. We got a friend. We got a friend. Look at that.
Veterans Party Minnesota.
Veterans Party Minnesota. This guy is on our Facebook page. This guy is fantastic. Tony, right?
Support the second, yes.
Yeah,
Tony.
support the second. But look at that.
Love what you guys are doing. You guys
One
are
of
doing
these,
great.
one of these guys is worth 1,000 of those guys. I'll tell you that right now. One law-abiding gun owner standing here in defense of the Second Amendment. There's just no comparison. There's just no comparison, guys. We got to fight back against this stuff. Session is kicking off right now. Session is kicking off right now, and we have got to shut it down. Stand with us. We'll never betray you. We'll never back down. We'll never do a deal. You will never hear me come on this Facebook page and tell you that we've got to settle for gun control. You'll never hear it. We will always, always fight against this stuff. Kyle's thanking you for your service, Tony. Got a whole bunch of members of Minnesota Gun Rights are thanking you for your service, and we thank you too.
You guys, we appreciate what you guys are doing. Thanks.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, support our Constitution. That's why we serve, right? Support
Amen.
the Constitution. There's no
Amen.
compromise on it.
Amen.
Absolutely no compromise. Great motto.
No, we love it. We love it, guys. Join up. Join today. I think we're going to hop off here in a minute. Share this video with your family and friends. Share it. Make sure they know what's happening here. Sign up. Become a member. If you already are, make a contribution so we can fund the programs necessary to beat the heck out of these anti-gun lawmakers, politically speaking, for the humor impaired, in their districts, and make sure that they crawl over broken glass before they pass radical gun control in Minnesota. Guys, the gun owners are showing up. If you're in the area, stop in at the Capitol. Love to meet you. Love to talk to you. Share this video. I'll be live a little bit later. Talk to you guys later. Share this video.